Hey there, folks. I'm Joe Crawford of artlearn.com. Pretty much every day I go to CSSBattle.dev, do their daily target, and record myself doing it. Let's do that now. Ooh, that's fun. That is a fun shape, and I want to do it. How do I want to do that? So we have something that repeats. We have this circle that repeats, right? And then we also have these lines, but the lines are irregular. We've got a slight irregularity about how it works. So is this a mask maybe with a background? Um, let's go nested template. We'll start with that. And funny, and well, no, yeah, we'll go nested template because I want to create the constraints on the up and down. Otherwise, I need to set a no repeat or something like that. So using two elements, and in this case, the HTML element and the body element, I think is right. Will work well. 57 and then 70, 80, 90, 100, 102. Okay, so that's what we've got. We got that so far. So let's put in this radial gradient portrait. So I started to type radial gradient and got the word portrait. I don't know why, but okay. 1Q, and I believe we need the orange and then transparent. And we need a radius, how about 40 pixels, something like that. And that's in the zone. Oh, interestingly, it looks like it's a little offset. So I'm going to start with, I'll use an at value at 40 pixels, 40 pixels. And just using the at, which is adjusting the center of the background. In this case, every background has a background size of auto, which is 100% by 100% of the element that it's containing on. 50, 16, 70, 80. Okay. So if I put that at 0, 0, and then give it a width, then you can see it repeat, right? And 2, 3, 140. And that looks like a match. So once I do that, I can remove. So right now I've got a background position of 0, 0, which is the upper corner. If I remove this, then I get to see what it would be without changing the center of that. But then I can use background position, these two numbers, minus 10 pixels, and then what, minus 5 pixels. Yeah, and those two numbers. So now, right now I have a solid color of this brown. I think it's a brown. That's doing the whole thing, but now I need these yellow stripes. So I think linear gradient is the right way to go. And it's an irregular one, right? So the two ways to do that, I could put it in a variable. Let's put it in a variable. Do dash dash g for gradient, linear gradient, and I need a semicolon after it, and it's coming in from 90 degrees. It's got this brown color. We'll call it 30 pixels, and then transparent. Now, if I plop that in, comma, var dash dash g, I get a bar. And that's just fine. And I think there we learn it's 40 pixels wide. Then, well, maybe we need three more. 2, 3, because it's again, it's an irregular um, figure. So right now they're all in the same place. But what if we move it over 20 pixels, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80? And then this one is what? 20 pixels, 30, 40, and that works. Could also put that on the HTML element. That's when it gets a little more complicated because the HTML element doesn't have an intrinsic size, I believe, is why we get some weird repeats, and then we have to set like a background size and other things like that. So right now, but this works. Let's minify and unit replace, and I think we're done. Um, Obviously, that same technique uh, of there's nothing obvious. I started with the word. I started my sentence with the word obvious, but nah, none of this is really obvious. But instead, so let's back up. We're gonna undo. So instead of creating a linear gradient that's like that, forget that. And let's just make one linear gradient with multiple color stops. That might be simpler and fewer characters. So color 40 pixels, 90 degrees, transparent, and then 80 pixels, comma, and then we'll get the brown again, and then we do transparent again, and then the brown again is where we end it. Or actually, we might not. We just need to do it to set the width. Okay, so we did that. So now I'm going to set a 0 here and see if we're doing that correctly. That matches. So now 110 pixels, 0, 120. And then I'm going to put a background position at X1 because left to right, we just need the single X value and then give it a width. How about 140 pixels? And here's what 130 looks like. So that's slightly wrong. So 140 is a known number. So let's submit that one. And I will now use what my unit replace plugin and minify and set that to be, no, that doesn't work. I was trying to do some little optimizations there, and that's not going to work in the way that I wanted to. But that's totally legit. Final submit. I don't think it's a better score than the variable, but maybe it is. We'll find out right now. Nope, that's a better score. So it's simpler, right? It's a radial gradient, it's a linear gradient, and it's some margins to constrain it, and that's as about as simple as it gets. Though my thinking process was, well, this repeats only irregularly, right? So why even bother trying to let it repeat? Just do 3 of them, blah blah blah. But um, there's enough regularity here or there's it's simple enough to do it in 4 color stops: brown, transparent, and then it repeats here because the width of it is less wide than the body element. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you're doing well out there. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Go make a web page. Have fun.